Make that one welcome board.
Hey everybody, welcome to Sunday School. I'm Fred Willis, your gracious host and teacher. And as you can see, I am not in my studio. I'm on the road again. Come here, Willie Nelson. On the road again. I'm on the road again, but I'm headed home. But I wanted to share this lesson with you so that we could continue, our series of learning. This week's lesson is entitled "Just Roll with It." And I'm coming from Psalm 37 and 5. It's a passage that I love to read. I love to quote. And I believe that I've been living it out. But I want to share a revelation that I have recently discovered. I'm going to share it with you. Psalm 37 and 5 says, "Commit thy way unto the Lord. Trust also in him, and he will bring it to pass." Commit thy way unto the Lord. Trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. Now, what this means is what it is exactly what it sounds like. But I discovered by just kind of looking around in some commentaries, just kind of poking around there, that there was a meaning to this scripture that I had no idea about. So I want to share that with you. Matthew Henry says it like this: "When we look abroad, we see the world full of evildoers." This puts us in the mind of Psalm 37.
I'm not stand by.
And 3, Psalm 37 and 1, where he says, "Fret not because of evildoers, for they shall soon be cut off." But he says this, seems like they flourish and live in ease. "So it was seen of old, therefore let us not marvel at the matter. We are tempted to fret at this." This is the same thing that's true in our lifetime. It's easy to think them the only happy people, and so we are prone to do like them, meaning that we're prone to leave the faith and do as them, because as it looks sometimes, it seems like they're prospering in their way. But what about us? What about the righteous? So we have this promise here. He says we're warned against that. Outward prosperity is fading. When we look forward with the eye of faith, we shall see no reason to envy the wicked. Now that's true. That's what this passage is trying to get us to understand. It says their weeping and wailing will be everlasting. The life of religion is a believing trust in the Lord and diligent care to serve him according to his will. It is not trusting God, but tempting him. It is not trusting God, but tempting him if we do not make conscious of our duty to him. A man's life consists not in abundance, but thou shalt have food convenient for thee. This is true. This is more than we deserve, and it is enough for one that is going to heaven. It's more than enough. All right, we say all the time, he didn't have to do it, but he did. But in that, we do know, as Jesus says in Matthew 6:32, the Father knows what we have need of, right? So we then should seek first the kingdom of heaven and his righteousness and God's righteousness, and all those things that we have need of will be added unto us. Let me keep going here. He says this, commit thy way unto the Lord. Roll thy way up to the Lord. Roll thy way upon the Lord. What does that mean? Roll thy way upon the Lord. This is where we get the meaning for this lesson. So that's a note in the margin. It's a marginal note. It's parenthetically saying, roll thy way upon the Lord. It says this, cast thy burden upon the Lord, the burden of thy care. There we get that in 1 Peter 5:7. We must roll it off ourselves, not afflict and perplex ourselves with thoughts about future events. Rather, we are to refer them to God. Commit thy way unto the Lord, and he shall bring it to pass. Trust also in him. Don't forget to trust. We must do our duty and then leave the event with God. The promise is very sweet. He shall bring that to pass, whatever it is which thou hast committed to him. All right. Barnes's notes on the Bible continues this thought, and it says, roll thy way upon the Lord. There we have that again. It compares the note as Psalm 22:8, where in the margin it says, he rolled himself upon the Lord. Then we have 1 Peter 5:7. The idea is that of rolling a heavy burden from ourselves on another, or rather laying it upon him so that he may bear it, right? The burden which we have, we don't have strength to bear it, so we lay it upon God. Yes. The term way, now this is getting deep, means properly. I'm reading from Barnes's notes on the Bible. It means properly the act of treading or going. Then a way is also a path or a course of life, right? Commit your way, commit your course of life, commit your progress, your pathway of life, or the manner in which we live our lives. And the reference here is to the whole course of life, or all that can affect life. All of life, or all that can affect life. All our plans or conduct, all the issues of results of those plans. Let me read that part again. All the issues or results of those plans is rolled up into the idea of a way of life, right? So here, the regard to the manner in which we live and all its results are to be committed to the Lord. He closes this right here by reminding us to trust also in him. Psalm 37:3. He says, and he shall bring it to pass. In Hebrew, that means he shall do it. He shall do it. That is, he will bring it to a proper issue. Let me say that again. He will bring it to a proper issue. He will secure a happy result. This is Barnes's notes on the Bible, and I love what he's saying here. He will take care of your interests and will not permit you to suffer or to be ultimately wrong. Now, here's something that I know I have never considered this passage to be saying. It says this, the thing particularly referred to here as it appears from the next verse is reputation or character. Reputation or character. He's saying commit your life to the Lord and he'll bring it to pass. Roll upon him, roll thy way upon him, and trust in him, and he will bring it to pass. Yeah, I got one more I want to read for you, and then I'm going to let you go. All right. Gives exposition of the entire Bible. Says this, commit thy way into the Lord or thy works, as in Proverbs 16:3. Proverbs 16:3 is telling us a lot about a man, a just man, a righteous man. In verse 7 of Proverbs 16, he says, when a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. So he's talking about that righteous man, So in verse 16, verse 3 of chapter 16, we have a reference here. It says that is all the affairs of the business of life, which are a man's ways in which he walks. Not that men should sit still, be inactive, and do nothing, and leave all to be done by the Lord, but we should seek the direction of God in everything we engage in, and for strength and assistance to perform them, and go on it, and depend upon Him for the success of it, and then give Him all of the glory without trusting to anything done by them. This is a long sentence, y'all. Let me read this again. That the way, all the affairs and business of life, this is a man's way. This is what Gil is saying, right? So he's also saying this: not that men should sit still, be inactive, and do nothing, and leave all to be done by the Lord, but we should seek direction. Seek the direction of God in everything engaged in, and for strength and assistance to perform it, and go on in it, and depend upon Him for success, and give Him all the glory without trusting to anything done by them, or as some render the words, reveal thy way unto the Lord. Not that God is ignorant, he says. Not that God is ignorant of the ways of men and of their affairs and of their wants and necessities. But it is their duty, it's our duty to ask. And it is His delight to hear. They may come, we may come, and use freedom with Him and tell Him the whole case. But not just do that, leave it with Him also. Believe that He will supply it. Believe that He'll supply all I need. That's a promise in Scripture. Or as others render it, roll thy way on the Lord. There we go. Psalm 55:22. That's another verse there for us to consider. Meaning not the burden of sin nor the weight of affliction, but any affair of moment and importance that lies heavy upon the mind. Anything that's concerning you. Peter says, cast all your cares. And this is the same thought that we get from this passage of Scripture here. He says, roll thy way upon the Lord. Give it to Him. Give it to Him for Him to possess. Trade it. Trade it. Trade it. Lay it down. Roll thy way upon the Lord, and He shall bring it to pass. As he does whatever He has appointed and determined shall be, and whatever He has promised, and whatever will be for His own glory and His people's good. Roll thy way upon Him. Psalm 55:22. Cast thy burdens upon the Lord, and He shall sustain you. Give those things to Him. So in this lesson, I told you, just roll with it. Sometimes there are things in our lives that come upon us, that shake us, that challenge our faith. Things are going wrong everywhere. You know, I had this question last week because there was something that happened to me that I thought was awfully unfortunate. Somebody got a hold of my PayPal account and just went happy-go-lucky with a bunch of charges. Okay, what was worse is that they were like individual charges. And what it seemed like, I thought about it, it was like somebody must have like panicked or whatever, and just said, "Let me connect my gaming account, to this PayPal account." That's what it seems like happened. And so I had all this money missing from my PayPal account. And I was angry. I didn't know what to do. I was flustered, And so with all those things happening, I didn't have time to, dispute each charge. There are like 40 charges, so I have to go in and do each one, one after the other. And I'm going to do it, But that was something that caused me great concern. It caused me... I was angry. I forgot to tell y'all. I may have told you I was angry. I was very angry about it. But that was something that, there's nothing I could do about it except breathe, calm down, and then get to work. But I had other stuff to do. So how do I do that? That's the way life works. Is things happen and wow, they don't take a day off. You have this to do. You got this to take care of. And then you have this big issue that's demanding your attention. But what I did in that moment was I didn't panic, but I remembered that the enemy is a defeated foe. And so I asked this question. I said, Lord, if He is a defeated foe, why do these things even happen? Why is He allowed to even do those things? and I didn't get an answer. But I was reminded even in that moment, he is a defeated foe. So even when things look crazy, even when things go crazy, even when things malfunction, even when things don't happen the way they're supposed to, people don't do what they're supposed to, we have to remember that he's a defeated foe. And so in that, with that knowledge, I can then roll my way upon the Lord. I can cast my care upon him. Everything that's concerning me, everything that's causing me grief, everything that's causing me trouble, I can then take it off me and place it on him. Surely he has borne our griefs. That's what Isaiah said. He's borne our grief, our burdens. He's borne all of those things. And guess what? Oh, what peace we often forfeit because we neglect to take everything to God in prayer. And so whatever is burdening you, whatever is plaguing you, whatever is on your mind heavy this morning, I'm here to remind you that you don't have to carry it. You don't have to carry it. What you do need to do, though, is give it to him. Sometimes we carry weight because we're trying to find the solution for it. I'll give it to God when I find the solution for it. I'll give it to him when I trust that he's going to work it out. Because right now, I got to trust my intellect. I got to trust my mind to do it. But guess what? Our job is to literally give it to God to take care of. He is there saying, give it to me. Give it to me. Come on, give it to me. This is what the psalmist says in Psalm 55:22. Cast your burdens upon the Lord and he will sustain you. So many times we falter. We fail in life because we carry weight that is not intended for our shoulders. I don't care how strong you are. There are some ways that you cannot carry. You're not built to carry. You're not meant to carry them. You're not called to carry them. And so we have to get to a point where we can trust God with everything going on in our lives. I mean everything. There are some things that we think we can handle and carry, and we can solve. We can solve this problem. I know what to do here. I know what to do there. But guess what? What if we got into the habit to where we gave him everything? That we asked him every time? It would change your life. It will revolutionize your life. And so this passage today, Psalm 37:5, roll thy way upon the Lord, whatever it is, big or small. Because you know what? There comes a time in life where you think you had the right solution, you thought you had the answer, and it proved to be the wrong thing. Yeah, so even the small things, we have to learn to give them to God and trust his wisdom in those moments and in those matters. Amen. So roll that way. Roll that beautiful mean footage. I know y'all been waiting on me to say that. Roll thy way upon the Lord. Cast your care upon the Lord, for he indeed cares for you. I'm living proof he cares for you. I went to speak at a conference on last week, and I know some of you are saying, whatever you're saying. I had another thought coming in, but at that conference, every speaker who got up said that something was going wrong. Something went wrong that week. Something went haywire. Plans didn't go the way that they should have gone. And even for me, there were some things that I was facing that I just couldn't get my mind together. I couldn't decide what to say. I couldn't. I know I was hearing from the Lord, but I just pared it down. I only had so much time, and so there were other kind of things going on. And you think, what? Oh, I know what it was. I had a client that I was dealing with. Right? I'm in business for myself. There was an issue that had arisen with a client, and it caused me great strain. It did, for real. I ain't making that up. It caused me, I'm saying this, euphemistically and with glowing words, but it wasn't a glowing situation. It was stressful. It was causing me concern, And so everything that went on last week, that situation was holding up, I just said, okay, I'm not going to stress about it. Things happen, and I said, I'm not going to stress about it. Something broke. Something broke here. All kind of stuff, was going on. And I just said, I'm going to commit to not stressing about that. I'm going to commit. Kids was acting up. I'm going to commit to not allowing that to move me from my place of peace. I say that quite often. I'm not going to be moved. I shall not be moved. Things happen. Things come up. I won't be moved by that. And so that was something that I did all the way to Orlando. Stuff happened. You get to these resort towns, and the bill checking into the hotel ain't what it said it was going to be. And we were running late to the airport. My wife works right around the corner from the airport. We were late getting to the airport. Had to wait another 20 minutes on the shuttle. So we were super late getting to TSA and checking in. And so we're behind schedule. Oh my God, we're going to miss our flight. We might miss our flight. And that turned into cool it and let's see what's going to happen. Right? Everything is going to work out. I began to change my language talking to myself, because I got to communicate to myself. I can't wig out, can't flip out. I say everything's going to work out. We're going to be good. We might not get there the time we get there, but they're not closing that flight without us being on it. What am I saying? I then, before this stuff happened, I committed myself to not wig out. No matter what comes my way, no matter what we faced. Because that whole day was upside down. But I committed that I was not going to lose it, no matter what happened. We were late. We were late. And if any of y'all know, this ain't the season to be late to the airport. But I committed that I'm not. And that's my message to you today. Roll thy way upon the Lord. Everything that seems like it ain't working out, everything that seems like it's going wrong, every plan that seems like it's going haywire, it's not going to work out. Commit thy way to the Lord. Roll thy way upon him. And with that being said, I learned how to just roll with it. Whatever life brings, I'm rolling with it. Why? Because I know God is going to work it out. That way I can cast all my care. See, I'm not just casting it because he cares. No, I'm casting it because he's able to work it out. He's able to, Romans 8:28, cause everything to work together for my good. Doesn't matter what happens right now. He's able. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to roll my way upon the Lord. And in that, I'm going to roll with it. That's my word of encouragement for you today. Roll with it. I know it's ugly. I know the outcome is looking bad. I know the outcome is looking mean. I know the outcome is looking, it's not looking favorable for you. But roll thy way upon the Lord. Give it to him. Let him take care of it. Let him stay up all night. You go to bed. You can't change it anyway by staying up. You can't do it. Jesus even said, what good is it going to do for you to worry about tomorrow? Can you add even a second to the day? No. So we give it to him. We give it to him. We're casting our care upon the Lord. For he cares. And most importantly, he's capable of working it out in our favor. That's our lesson for today. I want to thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. Listen, I'm away from home, in my home away from home. But Sunday school is so important for me. It's important to me. The classmates, y'all mean so much to me, and I apologize for having to do a pre-recorded lesson, but this is my lot this week, right? And so next week I'll be back in studio live with all of you. And so I need you to do something for me. I need you to share this video, share it with everybody share it with all your friends. Or if anybody who needs to hear this, maybe you're the one who needs to hear this. I want this lesson to speak to you. I need it to speak directly to you, to speak to your heart, to settle your soul, to not be moved from your place of peace. Do not be moved from your place of peace. Doesn't matter what happened. And I mean bad things happen. They're happening all over the world. But guess what? I'm going to trust God that when I give him my burdens, that he's going to lift them and he's going to take care of me. That's this life of faith that I live, this life of faith that you live. He will never leave us nor forsake us. This is what he told Joshua. And by forsaking, I love how one translation says he won't fail to help you. Sometimes we've seen people, we've called out for help, and the people we've called for help, they can't do anything for us. They can't do anything about our situation. But guess what? God is not like them. So when we call on him, we can trust that he's going to work things out for us. And that's all I have for you today. Trust him. Trust that he will work it out for you and for your good. All right. I will see y'all next week for another installment of Sunday School. I love you so much. I'm praying for you. Matter of fact, do this for me. If this lesson speaks to you, share that message with me. Inbox me right here on the Fred Willis page. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. I don't hear from y'all too often when I put this call to action out. But do this week. Let me know. Let me know if this lesson is speaking to you. Or somebody you know. Let me know if you're sharing it with somebody else. I would love to hear that too. Do that. And so I'll be back next week, as I have promised, with another lesson live from my studio for Sunday School. I will see y'all next week. I love you so much. Thank you.